Hello and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Katherine Niker,
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. What's up?
and this is episode 137, baby. 137.
137. That's the number we need you to call to support us on all of your social media handles and accounts. Just kidding. That's not a number at all. But we do need your support and love. And for all those who support us already, thank you. At the WNBA Pickup Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. Those are our big ones. Those are the ones we're pushing. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Spotify, iTunes, your pod catchers. We also have a survey with Acast and Sonar Network that basically, it's for our advertising. So we really appreciate anyone that has filled it out, that is going to fill it out. Just, sort of giving us your personal info really is what it is. So, you know what I mean? You're basically sharing like what sort of advertising you like.
We're not sharing it though.
We're not sharing it, but it's like basically they're gonna put all the numbers together and then say like, hey, people who listen to this pod might like blank, and then we can make sure that big oil and stuff like that's not being sold to you. Cool.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
ads for male shaving products instead.
Yeah,
The
imagine
other podcast.
it's all male. Yeah, it's all male shaving products. Like this survey really went belly up. But all jokes aside, yeah, we really appreciate anyone that has filled it out and is going to. And yeah, all the stuff. Our subscribers have given us a big bump recently, so shout out, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we've got a lot of trade news this week.
Trade deadline.
Trade deadline's Thursday. This episode comes out on Thursday, so there might be some last minute stuff we don't catch, but we've got
Hopefully there is.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, just because we're here for the drama? I don't know if that's accurate about us.
Yeah, that works.
But anyways, we got to talk about Dejanay Carrington, who was traded to the Minnesota Lynx for Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and a 2027 second round pick. As well, we have Brittany Sykes, who was traded to Seattle for Alicia Clark and Zaya Cook. So let's talk about Dejanay Carrington first, I think. I think both these teams are really adding to their depth for this playoff push. I mean, I really like this move for Minnesota personally, and it really looks like more and more that Dallas is going to be blowing things up here. I think that's kind of my general assessment on this one.
Yeah, without sort of stepping on what we're going to talk about later, I think NECA is being talked about as a potential move candidate, which would be absolutely explosive. I don't know, where she goes or how that happens, but yeah, this is
really shocking.
That'd be very shocking. But this is a case, I think, of both of these trades are like clear sellers, clear buyers, and the Lynx are already a championship. A championship. What's the word I'm looking for? Candidate. Favorite.
Contender?
Whatever.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I want to say like championship lock, like as in like they're already so competitive that
You think
they
they're a
don't.
lock for the finals?
As close to as a lock as you can get, I would say. Like
Sure.
them and the Liberty, I think as this season has gone along, like there's some other stories going on, right? There's the Mercury, there's the Storm, there's the Fever, maybe. But I think the Liberty and Lynx, if those teams are not in the finals, that means one of them will have really, really sort of like been surprised. And I think the league
Sure.
and the fans will be surprised, right? But Dejanay Carrington, huge addition to this team, like just a stacked rotation for the Lynx. But for me, I also think that this is a really good move for the Wings. I think the Wings are building around Paige. I think now's not their time. I think Dejanay is not like a long-term player for them, and they got Miller, they got Samuelson, they got a pick. That's a pretty good return. So if I'm a Wings fan, I'm like, this is what's up. Like, for a while we were sort of meandering and like there was some momentum, but I'm like, get everything you can from these buyers,
Mhm.
Call up the Mercury, call up whoever else who's like thinks that they need to shore up for the playoffs and like sell, sell, sell.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry, quick correction, Arike, not
You think
NECA.
Enrique Gumbawale's on the move? Yeah, that makes more
That's
sense.
right.
I was like, "NECA's on the move." I didn't
I
hear
know.
that. Yeah, Enrique Gumbawale, I agree. It seems like they're gonna build around Page and Uh, I mean, I'd be shocked if they did something at the deadline here. It seems like it's probably going to be more of an off-season move because they would have like if a team were to take on Enrique, which I'm sure a lot of teams would want to, they would have to free up a lot of cap space, and that means they would have to let some players go because I don't think people have the roster space to just absorb or the cap space, sorry, just to absorb her salary. So it might be a hard move to make right now, but I would be surprised if she was on the wings next year.
Yeah, 100%. I think we have a really good article from Jack Maloney of CBS Sports, and she is listed as a potential move candidate. But I think, yeah, that would be like such a blockbuster, and doesn't really seem like it's in the cards. But I think you can't fully rule it out just because maybe the Wings want to make a move before this just wild summer we're headed towards, or like wild off season rather, because I think it's just everyone is on these like short term contracts. It's going to be such a like a feeding frenzy. I think it's you could be in a situation potentially where your star player, right, like an Enrique, is kind of undervalued because there's so much noise.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that is a situation that if I'm Dallas, I want to avoid. I want to just sort of really kind of like latch onto like, hey, who feels desperate? Who feels like they need this? And who wants to strike right now?
Right. So they're probably being really aggressive, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll
It's
fully
gonna
make a
happen. Yeah.
move, but it could happen, yeah. And then from the Seattle side, bringing on Brittany Sykes, I mean, I really like this move for Seattle as well. Like it just feels like they're trying to be more competitive. They've had a couple tough losses lately, but I mean, they're a team that very much believes in themselves. They're definitely in the mix. Like, we've talked about Seattle a bit, maybe a little while ago when we were doing like season preview or like mid-season stuff in terms of like their ability to possibly be a spoiler. Like, if
Mhm.
someone were to take down either of these teams, who could it be? And I mean, I don't necessarily think Seattle will take down the Lynx or the Liberty, but like if you're looking at who out there possibly could, you're saying like, well, the Storm have a really good team. So they're adding to their depth and I really like this move. I don't know if it's going to be a huge game changer for them, but I feel like it's just those moves that you make in the margins that kind of make the difference for a lot of teams. I still don't think they have enough. I can't keep I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself a bit. As I'm talking about it, I don't think they have enough to beat the Lynx, but they're making good moves.
Yeah, and if you're Seattle and you know that Dominic Malonga will be the best player in the league by year's end, I think that it's something you gotta act on, Like, you can't mess around too much if you know that, like.
Malunga corner. We need like a name for your super fandom
Yeah.
of Dominique
Like,
Malunga.
if you understand that, like, the absolute, like, face of the league is yours, and she's 20 years old and, like, is just getting started, then, like, yeah, you do what you can to win. But
Yeah,
but,
we were talking about her a little bit before we started recording and how she's like come on really strong as of late. And I was kind of like, I'm surprised they didn't play her more sooner, but you're saying they're just really easing her into
yeah,
everything.
well, I mean, she's international, right? She's 20 years old, right? So youngest player ever to get a double-double, and I think it's such a different ball game in the W when you're international and you can play in the league at 20 versus, if you're domestic, you have to be 22, right? Or complete your, university or college degree. So it's a big, big difference for like, if you're trying to compare, like, say, like Dominique and Paige, right? Like, Dominique is 2 full years younger, right? So she's going to be in this league like in 2 years, she's going to be sort of like that much further along
Yeah,
than.
I see, but I'm also like, she's on a team with really great vets, right? And
Oh,
Skylar
oh, for
Diggins
sure,
and
for
NECA,
sure.
that to me, it's like, just throw her out there, you know?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I
Throw
mean,
her out there.
they're
Get it,
throwing her
I
they're
feel
throwing
like
her out there,
how better to get experience than to actually just be in the games, I don't know.
especially if you're gonna be the face of the league, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
you got
by the way, Seattle, as of this recording, three-game losing streak, so
Yeah, really
not
tough
in the
losses
best
lately.
pitch.
Um,
I also wanted to say that very similar trades happened, right? So
mhm.
two players in a pick. So Alicia Clark, Zaya Cook, and a 2026 first round pick for Brittany
Oh, I
Sykes.
missed the pick. I apologize,
Yeah,
I
so
missed that.
two players in a pick, which is also what Minnesota sent out.
A first round
Um,
pick, though.
First round pick, yeah. So
Huge.
um, that's oh wait, sorry. I think Minnesota's might have been a second round pick. I will correct myself in a sec. But regardless, two players in a pick is like serious weight and serious kind of cachet to be throwing around when you're trying to
The Wings
compete.
Minnesota trade was a second round pick,
It was okay.
and
Great,
that I did see.
great, right.
Yeah.
Um, so we also wanted to talk about a little bit about a like who we think is like an interesting watch of a team for.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this episode comes out, we'll only have so many hours left in the trade deadline. But we thought, let's have some fun here. Let's have some
Yeah,
fun. Who do we think could be a possible name or move or team to watch out for? So I have somebody in mind. Freddie, I don't know if you have anybody in mind. I think we've both picked one that we
yeah,
think would be
yeah.
a fun one if something happened.
Yeah, I'll give you my runner-up sort of interesting team was the Sparks, because I think that the Sparks, their season was going one way and then it's kind of turned around. Getting Cameron Brink back is exciting. They're looking good post All-Star break. But the team that I really think, if this is an exciting deadline, uh, I think because of the WNBA structure, I think there's a good chance that it's not exciting. And yeah, this Jack Maloney article really kind of lays it out. There's less teams, there's less money to go around, and the way that the W works, there's less picks getting traded. Which might be changing, but that's sort of like not the dynamic of the league. You don't see a player get traded for like 6 or 7 picks. Like that's not really like what happens. So there's less movement ultimately. But with that said, the Valkyrie are Jack Mooney has them listed as buyers or sellers, and that's not most teams. So I think they've already overachieved. And if you're Golden State, you can look at the season like one of two ways. Let's give the fans like a really exciting season and be the first ever expansion team to make the playoffs. So let's sort of like do what we can, knowing that we can't draft like top three next year because that's the way that the league is structured. Like they're not going to let the expansion team have a really high pick. So let's sort of see if we can add some depth. Or you can also be sellers, or you could be like a third team. If there's an Enrique move or whatever, and things need to get funky, you can do that. So I mean, you have good players, you have useful players. I think essentially they're my biggest wild card team because after all this like special draft they had and the actual draft they had, this is now like they've seen their team play for a while. It's exciting, they're competitive, but I don't really think that this team has any like blue chip players, or they're not really headed towards being a championship caliber team. So they could be interesting sellers. They could say this is like not not like we're not going to be a championship team, so let's just start to kind of really aggressively rebuild. Or they could just like, you know, kick the can
Well, not
a little
rebuild,
bit
just
and
build.
just build. Yeah, just build.
Yeah, yeah.
But or I guess I should say they could choose to not be competitive this year
Yeah, yeah.
and then kind of bank on long-term assets, or they could say, "Hey, let's just have fun for the first year and let's be as competitive as we can. And let's see if we can have a like a Cinderella story here and win around."
It's a good point in that they are truly flexible in this moment, and they could either do something big or not. I totally see that. For me, I feel like the Sun are a team to watch right now. We're going to talk about the sale in the next segment, so I won't jump on that. But in particular, I'm looking at Marina Mabry. So Marina
Yeah.
Mabry requested a trade before the season started, and it didn't happen. Um she doesn't want to be there. I don't imagine she'll be there next year, regardless of whatever city it ends up being moved to. We'll talk about the Boston thing. But I feel like there are teams that could really use a Marina Mabry. And if you're willing to make it work mathematically and otherwise, you know, today's the day to pull that trigger. And I'm particularly looking at the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream could pull off a Marina Mabry move.
Mm.
That would be so huge for them. So huge. And I want to see it happen. So sometimes you
Uh,
just got to will it into existence, you know?
that would be that would be tricky. So I'm looking at but by the way, we've been using this site a lot recently. Her hoop stats.
Yes, it would be
You know,
tricky. Not saying it wouldn't be tricky. I'm just trying to say it would be fun if it could happen.
it'd be fun as hell. And I think, absolutely like she is, in this Jack Maloney article, she literally comes up like her, Aaliyah Edwards, Steph Dolson come up for every team as a potential fit because
Oh,
they
your
all
girl, Steph Dolson.
Steph Dolson, shout out. Like I think they could all, they could all really, really benefit a contender and be not starters, but they could be like fringe starter quality players that really raise the ceiling of a rotation and are also like very, very, they're winners, right? But yeah, Mabry I think is has to go. And then other, the Sun also have Tina Charles. Like, I think Tina
Mm.
Charles, you got to imagine, could be on the move. I wanted to say also, just listed as being,
Tina Charles just feels like she's always on the move.
I know, right? I
Tina
feel like since we
Charles
started
is
covering this league, she's just been like been all over
she's
the place.
just always crossing the country, you know? She's
Yeah, she's
always
travel.
on
She's a
the move.
traveler.
She's a traveler, you know?
But for Golden State potential trade candidates, Jack Money has Tiffany Hayes, Monique Billings, Tammy Fagbenley, and Kate Martin. So lots of talent out there, lots of potential, movement.
All right.
But
Well, we'll
yeah,
we'll have to
hope
see and react next week if any of this comes true.
we will. Yeah. Well, we'll see you on social media too.
Let's talk about this Connecticut Sun sale, or somewhat not of a sale, because
Yeah.
it came
Seriously.
out that they got sold to the Boston Celtics team ownership, and they were going to move the team to Boston. But then it came out that the WNBA board of directors had not approved of this sale, and that Boston did not put their names in the hat, so to speak, back in January for expansion, and that the cities who did and the investors who did have priority over Boston. But it seems like Boston was talking directly with the Mohegan Sun tribe group
Hmm.
and not necessarily directly with the league. So, really weird, frankly expensive miscommunication that has taken place here. I believe the price was 325 million. Just absolutely,
Yeah, it would have been
incredible.
a record sale.
So, I mean, personally, just from a fan perspective, I really liked Boston having this team because just geographically, if you're in the Connecticut area, this can still be your home team, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so from that perspective, I liked it. Now, I don't know who these other cities are that put their name in, that didn't get a team, that are still trying to get a team. Um, so all of this is very interesting. We don't know how any of this is gonna shake in the coming weeks or months, but man, to drop 325 million and then be told no is pretty wild.
That is very wild, and, we actually do know the teams, so that they put out a list of the teams that, officially applied. So it's St. Louis,
Oh,
Kansas
okay.
City.
Sorry.
Yeah,
My apologies.
St. Louis, Kansas City, Austin, Jacksonville, Nashville, Houston, Miami, Denver, Charlotte, and Milwaukee. So
Wow.
all of those groups attempted to be Cleveland, and to be Philly, and
Detroit.
Detroit, right? They were all fighting for that and lost out. And then I missed this, but in an interview, Engelbert hinted that Houston deserves a team, and the league has their eye on Houston.
Ooh.
So, and
I
then
mean, I
also,
agree with that.
right, because of the history, and then obviously, the Rockets ownership is like super super rich. But I think that I'm with you in that it seemed like a good idea for Boston, or for, like, the geographical thing, right? For the sun, for Uniscville,
Yeah,
it's
they were
not
also gonna put down 100 million for a practice
for
facility and
sure.
all this stuff.
Yeah, the money's there. I think what this does as well is I think this is the first time where it's not clear expansion, and what we're gonna actually see is a bidding war between these organizations. So if you're
Well,
St.
the
Louis,
first time we're seeing it.
yeah, we're seeing it. Sorry, yeah. So if you're, if you're St. Louis, Kansas City, all these places, you just got a price. So those
Yes,
ownerships are talking,
exactly.
and they're saying, "Hey, we get first dibs. So, um, let's figure out how we raise $400 million, because we have to win this bid, or let's figure out how we raise half a million, $500 million." And if you're Boston, if you're that ownership group, you basically have to go back to the drawing board and say, like, okay, if we want in this conversation, we got to call the WNBA directly and be like, listen, let's talk to the board of directors, and let's try and, like, bump our way up this line by saying, like, we want this so bad, we're going to triple our offer. Like, we're going to drop like $900 million, like, because
Oh, man.
they messed up huge. Like, this is a colossal mistake, because I think,
I agree.
to your point, not only did they sort of, like, try to cut the line and, like, not, because, like, I think the thing that I didn't fully realize, but the board of governors, they all have to approve this. So,
Right.
if the Mohegan Sun are, wait, did I say that properly? The Mohegan Sun?
Mhm,
The name of the tribe?
mhm.
Yeah, the Mohegan tribe, sorry, the Connecticut Sun. But, yeah, anyhow, they've really sort of set a price for this, and that's not doing them any favors. And by the way, so the Mohegan tribe purchased the Orlando Miracle for $10 million in 2003. Could you imagine
Wow.
purchasing something for $10 million and then selling it for $325 million? And also, if you're the Mohegan tribe, you maybe did this on purpose. You're sort of like, "Hey, Boston, you wanna buy this team?" And Boston's like, "Yeah, sure."
Oh,
I
you
mean,
think they did this on
well,
purpose?
I don't know, right? But, like, they if they did, that's like they're playing, that's some
That
galaxy
is
brain shit,
scandalous.
because, I mean, because the price is out there now. So if you're one of these other franchises, that's what it costs, like, at least, right?
Wow.
And like you said, $100 million practice facility, so
Whew. I mean, I think I mean, who knows whether any of this happened deliberately or not, but it seems like such a colossal mistake for it to all have just been miscommunication or a misunderstanding. So there's definitely something fishy there. But I was thinking more about the board of governors and their relationships with the other cities,
Hmm.
and maybe they are they're sticking up for these other cities instead of just letting the sale happen or just approving it, essentially, because they have either relationships with these other cities or promises have been made about the future, things like that. I don't know.
Yeah. The
But
so
let's say, for example, if Houston buys the Sun, right? And then they get to debut next year, then they have essentially cut the line, or jumped the line rather, right? Because these other teams are debuting later than that.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I mean, like, if you buy an existing team, like, you're in the money right away, right? You don't have to sort of like
So there
wait
is
it out.
some, yeah, so there is some sort of jumping the line, so to speak, one way or the other, it seems like.
Hmm.
Anyway.
And so the phrasing here that I found really interesting as well is in this Yahoo Sports article by Sydney Henderson of USA Today. The phrasing is the WNBA does not distinguish between teams relocating and expansion. According to a person with knowledge of the situation, the league's board of governors, not existing team owners, select the cities the WNBA will operate in. The person spoke on condition of anonymity because they aren't authorized to speak publicly. So that to me is interesting, that like relocating and expansion, like the league's like, hey, it all falls under the same umbrella. Like
Mhm.
you have to do this above board. You can't just like barge in and like,
Yeah, you can't just be like, "Hey, league, you have a team in Boston now." Like,
yeah,
what?
exactly. The league's like, no, no, we're controlling our future, not you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it makes sense that they would wanna say in it. It's just wild how all of that
Hmm.
happened, because when those articles first came out, it really sounded like a done deal. So, it was definitely surprising. Um, with that, Freddie, is it time for Badass Player of the Week?
It is time for badass player of the week.
Let's go. Who you got?
Okay, so I'm going to sort of bouncing back and forth here a little bit, but I am going with to go with Aaliyah Boston. A bunch of really, really big wins. 16 points on 50% shooting, and she's also averaging 11 rebounds and 3 assists, with a steal and a half and a block, and a healthy plus minus. And I think what the Fever are doing are really impressive right now. So like shout out to the whole team. But it's an interesting story what they've been able to do without Clark, and I think they're really putting themselves in a good position to be successful when she comes back. So, but Aaliyah Boston is just had a massive, massive year, and it shouldn't be a surprise. She's a first overall pick. She's a rookie of the year. She's just a super talented player who's only getting better, but really, really playing some like excellent basketball right now. So,
Mhm.
Aaliyah Boston showed up.
Love it. I'm going with a player we haven't given a lot of love to this season so far, but definitely deserves it, and that is Rakia Jackson. So the Sparks have won their last 3 or 4 games. And it feels like Cameron Brink is back, and it seems like they're starting to hit their stride here as we head towards the playoffs. She's averaging over this last week 20 points, 5 rebounds, just shy of 2 assists. I just feel like she's having a phenomenal year, and I'm really excited for the Sparks team. Like, I feel like they're onto something here.
They very much are onto something. They're what are they in the last? They're 8-2. They're them and the Lynx are the hottest teams in the league.
Whoo! There you
So
go. Huge.
there's still 2 games under 500, but man, they're coming up on Golden State and Las Vegas. So
Yeah, they're gonna be in the mix. And, like, actually, Freddie, maybe next week we'll take a look at the standings because, outside of like the top two teams, it is so close. It's like really neck and neck right now. I think
Yeah.
that would be fun to explore for next week.
Yeah, I think especially 6 through 10 is, like, crazy, crazy tight.
Yeah, yeah, like it's really a toss up right now. Okay, Freddie, fun question.
Okay, here we go. Fun question. Sydney Colson debuted, uh, just a classic, like, weirdo alter ego character, that she refers to as, the green oh, man, I sorry, I just had it here. The green machine, um or
Oh,
sorry,
this is
as
inspired by the dildo situation that happened last week.
yeah, Mean Green, sorry. She was, talking as an alter ego, Mean Green, and, I mean, Sydney Colson is such a good person for this because she can make anything funny and make anything work, but it made me think that if someone was gonna be like an alter ego and kind of like, whatever, show up on a podcast and do a bit of a character, like, who would it be, and what do you think they could pull off? Like, what would they do?
Okay, so before we get into this, we gotta talk about the fact that this has now happened a second time.
Yeah, it's officially like dildo gate.
It's like really yeah, and then, to Sophie Cunningham, she's been a very good sport about all of this, but it's really annoying. Like I don't want this to like it's funny like once because, nobody got hurt, blah blah blah. But if this becomes a trend, it's going to be really really annoying. And also just why, man? Like I don't know. Um, just felt like we couldn't not talk about that, and bring it up again, you know? But with that being said, I I'm trying to think of a player who I think is funny enough to actually pull off a second persona. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like, like you, because there's some players. Like, at first, I was thinking, like, oh, is it like somebody like Sabrina? But like Sabrina's very like she comes across very like straight laced, like, I'm the ultimate competitor, and that's like my whole personality. And there's a lot of athletes like that, and I love that. I'm not trying to knock on that, but I don't know if they necessarily need this alter ego per se. But I was trying to think like who has like the personality that could really pull this off, and I thought about Kelsey Plum because I
Okay.
feel like Kelsey Plum, she's not a villain at all,
Yeah.
but I think she could play a villain really well.
Okay, this is good.
Right? And I just feel like I don't know what this villain character's name is or what their exact look is, but I feel like she could go like full like she could go like full like Batman and Joker. She could go full like
She could.
crazy Halloween villain, or just like make up like her own like
Kelsey Plum, as I just got a vision of Kelsey Plum as the Joker, and it's so good because she has
right?
that a huge smile already, like,
That's yeah, she
she
does.
has a bit of a maniac or a bit of a maniacal look, like,
Yeah, like if she over exaggerates, her facial expression. So I feel like that would be fun. So I'm going like Kelsey Plum villain, but I don't really know like exactly what the look would be. But Kelsey Plum villain is my alter ego here.
that's fantastic. I love that so much. I was flirting with a couple ideas here, and I'm gonna go with Asia Wilson, and it's gonna be Principal Wilson. So she's gonna go full Saved by the Bell, like Principal, like was
Mr.
it
Belding?
Mr. Belding, like maybe like some like Urkel vibes. Like I feel like I'm feeling like
Urkel
90s.
wasn't a principal?
No, I know, but I'm feeling like 90s sitcom sort of like nerd, like super high pants, overalls. Like I think that
What?
or suspenders. Like I feel like I could see her being like sort of like almost doing like a rule following nerd, Principal Skinner, sort of like just like this like kind of
Principal Skinner.
extra nerdy type of like energy where she's like taking notes and I don't know, like I could just see her like I could see her being on SNL straight up, like and just going full, like being the type
Okay.
of person where people were surprised with like how hard she went into character.
Okay.
Like she's not the type of person like me. Like I talk about this all the time in comedy. I think a lot of comedians like are stuck on this idea that they are supposed to be cool and that comedians are cool and that at some point they're like there's like a rock star comedian and it's like no, comedians are not cool. They're weirdos and they're lame and they're like anyone who tries to be a cool comedian
Majority broken.
is probably not funny. You know what I mean? If you're a cool comedian, you're not funny. That's my hot take. You
I
gotta go.
feel like you were friends with a lot of comedians who would consider themselves cool, though.
Well, they're probably not funny, you know?
No,
Uh,
I think I don't know. I don't know about this take of yours, but we'll
there's
discuss
there's
that more.
different types of cool. I think you can be so, into your
We'll discuss
craft that you're
this more
cool.
offline. Yeah.
Okay. I had a nerve here because
Interesting.
Catherine's cool, I guess.
Wow, did you just call me unfunny? How
No,
dare you?
never. But you're not cool, so you're funny, you know?
No, I'm definitely not. I'm not cool. I'm not that level of cool. I've become more nerdy as I've gotten older, I will say.
And it's good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. I don't really see this Asia Wilson moment,
We need some fan art, okay?
but I like
Give me some Asia
as a
Asia
visual, I think she would look really like she could pull off anything. So I mean, as a visual, I like the different like mix of patterns on her and like the glasses. Like I think like it could be really cute, but I as a personality, I don't see her alter ego as being like this nerd cuz I mean maybe we had different like I don't know. But people, feel free to
listen,
disagree. It's
she
okay.
could do it she can
It's
do an
okay.
Urkel for
Feel
sure.
free to disagree.
She could do an Urkel for sure.
Okay. Hopefully
Like,
one day we get to find out.
you know what I mean? Hopefully we
If she
do,
does an Urkel impression like in the next week, I would die. I'd
right?
absolutely die. That would be
Engelbert,
amazing.
if you're listening, hire us. This is good shit.
I don't want you in hire us for just
Hire us and let us talk to
hey, we
Asia
were
about being
inspired
Urkel.
by this dildo moment and we decided to give everyone an alter ego. That would be crazy. Listen, not all, this should not everything should be a trend. Uh Leave your toys at home, everyone. Come on now.
Yeah,
Leave your, like I said, the toys deserve more respect also.
here.
Okay, let's wrap it up there, Freddie.
Well,
Fantasy shout outs.
yeah, okay, I was gonna say. Let me jump in here. So, hey, heads up. Um, are we the worst in the league? Yes. Are we 1-9? Yes. Is Jonquil back and are we starting to cook? Also, yes. So we are up. We just lost to Elevate Your Game. So Elevate Your Game. Let me give you a shout out. Your team is Sabrina Ionescu, Neka Agumake, Elizabeth Williams, Erica Wheeler, Courtney Williams, Kate Martin, Melissa Smith, and Anisha Morrow. And then we are up against right now we're up against Reese's Pieces, and we're up. Okay, because
Oh,
Jonquil's back, baby. And
okay.
so they got Chelsea Gray, Tiffany Hayes, Temi Fagbenley, Janelle Salon, Cecilia Zandalasini, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Jones, Kiki Iriafen, Sevgi Uzin, Stephanie Talbot, and Angel Reese on their IR. So yeah, we are coming for you.
Hey, Reese's
They're
Pieces, you still got time, you know?
yeah, and Reese's Pieces, you're in fourth, so you're
You still got time.
you're doing better than us, but yeah, us and the Lily Lions still in the basement there, but I believe in us. We're gonna make a fight here. We're gonna hopefully make the playoffs somehow.
We got to make our case for Engelbert to hire us just a little stronger, you know? but
Yeah,
we'll
we
work
do.
on that. Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you everyone so much for listening and tuning in. Please remember to like us, subscribe, leave a positive review. Always appreciated. Comment, let us know what you think of our thoughts this week. If you think our trade predictions have any accuracy at all, let us know. And thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.
All
Bye.
right. Peace, everybody.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.